because I should have filmed this yesterday, but I didn't. So I'm filming it now. I'm going to try and edit it before I have to go to work and sleep. I haven't gotten dressed yet. I'm in the living room because my room is really hot because it's been snowing, so we need to have the heat on again, and my room is tiny and just traps all the heat at night. So we're in the living room. I might be a tad backlit because of the way that our couch is with the windows, but I'm going to work with this. You might have already seen that Gretchen posted her half of this, which is her intimidating TBR. I'm going to be doing my own as well. We wanted to try doing our tags separately because those videos get really long, so maybe instead of doing 2 separate tags, each of us will answer the tag in a separate video. I'm going to link the original video for this tag down below, so if you want to see where it all started, click on that. It had been around a couple years ago, and then it's been going around again recently, so we decided to do it, especially since we've been talking a lot about why we don't read particular books and we read other books instead, and have TBRs and then don't read the books on those TBRs. So I guess let's get started. The first question is, what book have you been unable to finish? And I'm going to pick Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin for this one. I mentioned this in my fantasy, why I have issues with fantasy, love-hate fantasy thing that I did a couple weeks ago. I get like this far, like 80 pages, 90 pages in, and then stop and don't pick it up again for several months to a year at a time, and part of me wants to finish it because it's such a staple in the fantasy genre, and so many people love it, but it's just not for me, guys, and I keep trying, and maybe one day when I like go somewhere and have no internet, I will bring this and just sit there and read it and make myself do it, but so far that has not happened. The next question is, what book haven't you read because you haven't had time for it? And I'm going to say Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I keep picking this up and being like, I'm going to read this weekend, I'm going to read this weekend, and then I don't because I'm prioritizing other things. This is a book that I want to read. I'm excited about this. I've wanted to pick it up basically since January, and I kept pushing it back, and maybe it's just not the right time to read this one. It might also just be because I have so many other things that I feel that I need to read for various reasons. In any case, hopefully this one will get picked up soon. It is pretty high on the I want to read this, I'm excited for list. It just hasn't happened yet. The next question is, what book haven't you read because it's a sequel? And I'm going to pick up Shift by Hugh Howey for this one. I read Wool by Hugh Howey several years ago now, and I was kind of, it was alright, it was interesting. I felt like it definitely got better as it went through, and I was like, I don't really think I'm going to be reading anything else for it. And then, like a year later, I'm still thinking about this book, so I'm like, okay, maybe I need to pick up the second book. And I picked it up, and I still haven't been reading it. And it's not because I am not still interested in it. I do still want to see where he went with this story and what he thought of everything that's going on, but I just haven't picked it up yet because I read the first one, and now I have this, but I haven't picked it up. The next question is, what book haven't you read because it's brand new? And while this one isn't really brand new, it was brand new to me. I got it for Christmas. I was excited about this, and I just have not picked it up. I've picked up other books. I've grabbed books from the library and all of these things, ARCs and things like that, and this one's just sort of hit the back burner. I'm still excited to read it, and it's pretty short, so you would think that I would be like, oh, a short book that I can read quickly, let me grab that. Has not happened yet. We shall see. A lot of people have been reading this recently on BookTube, so maybe that will help inspire me to pick it up because there's been some things being said, and maybe I should join the conversation. So I'm going to cheat a little bit with this next question. The question itself is, what book haven't you read because you read something by the same author and didn't like it? And if I don't like a book by an author, I tend not to pick up the books by the same author. I'm going to say a genre that I have books from and don't read, and surprise, surprise, it's fantasy. I picked up this one recently because I loved the cover and I loved sort of the premise of this one, but while I often love the premise of fantasy books, so often it's the same story over and over again, and I'm not into it. So I am reluctant to start this because I don't want it to be bad, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to be good. I want to like this, but I am scared that I won't, and therefore I'm not picking it up, which seems silly, but that's the answer to that. The next question is, what's a book you haven't picked up because you haven't been in the mood for it? I'm going to pick up The Time Traveler's Wife for this one. I enjoy chick lit, I just haven't been in the mood for it, and it might be because it's been winter time. As it gets warmer, I tend to want to read stories like this more. I will be going on vacation in a couple weeks, so I might take this one with me because chick lit is often the vacation read genre, just because it's light and fluffy and fun, and you want to read something light and fluffy and fun when you're on vacation. So this one might get read soon, but it's definitely a genre that I haven't really been dipping into, probably because of the weather and just how I feel. The next question is, what's a book you haven't picked up because it's humongous? And I'm just going to say maybe this one. It's, you know, only been split up into 3 volumes to make it more manageable, and possibly was going to be longer, but then the author died. That's a little bit morbid, but that's what's with this one. It's so big, guys. While I really enjoy large books, I often, being a booktuber and a blogger, feel like I need to prioritize shorter things so that I can keep producing content. And I think that's a problem I'm going to need to get over, because I have all of these big books that I'm excited about, and I keep saying, no, I don't have time for you. And it's not that I don't love them, it's just that I need to figure out how to prioritize them. If you have any suggestions on how to do that, please tell me so that I can work on that. I'm going to cheat a little bit again, because the next question is, what is a book that you bought for the cover and then ended up having poor reviews so you haven't picked it up? I'm going to pick a book that I got for its renowned, and then sort of had mixed reviews, so I'm not sure how I feel about it, and that's A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. A lot of people were reading this because it was on the Man Booker Prize shortlist, and it was on the shortlist for the National Book Award as well. And I picked it up because of all of the hype sort of surrounding that, and that I want to see what's being proclaimed as some of the best literature that came out recently. And then people were saying that they really loved it, and other people were saying that they loved it to a point and then got mad at it because of author intervention, and author intervention is one of the things that I kind of hate the most when it happens, so now I'm not sure whether I will get to this soon or not. Plus it's kind of large, and again, I'm not prioritizing large books because it takes me a while to read them, etc. Alright guys, we've reached the end. The very last question is, what is the most intimidating book on your TBR? And that's this one. Some of you are probably not surprised at all. It's huge, it's literary, it's apparently mind-blowing and confusing, and an icon of our generation, or the last generation, whichever. I need to read it, and I have it set to be read this year. It's going to happen. It just might not happen until the summer, or it's the point where I learn to read big books while blogging. I might just have to accept that I need to read one big book a month, and like that's what I do. I have this one currently running for a period of time, and I'm a little bit scared, but I need to read it, so that's gonna happen. I realized that I didn't tell you anything about the plots of these books, so if you want to click through to the blog post that I will link down below, I'm going to have a link to all of the Goodreads pages for these so that you can learn more about them. I really just wanted to talk about why I haven't picked up these particular books, or why I got them in the first place and then haven't read them yet. But you might have seen something you were interested in, or thought that you would read much faster than I have, so I'm going to do that for you. Again, that will be linked down below, so please enjoy that. I will also link Gretchen's version of this tag up in the eye, and I will be back soon. So hope you guys didn't mind this too much, and I hope that this wasn't so rushed because I don't have any time. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so talk to you soon. Bye!